Well, hello once again, and welcome to Simple Software University class SIM 207. Today we're looking at list fields and using the list type. It's pretty straightforward. This will be a short video, but basically lists let you create a list that you can choose items from instead of having to type them in manually each time. It can also be used in conjunction with OCR fields to tell a selection in the OCR to have it compare to a list. We won't really get into that part, but we're just going to do some basic list work here. I have, for this one, already created just a completely blank job, so we're kind of creating one from scratch here, but I don't want to go through all those steps on this video. That's some more basic functions. So for this one, we're just going to go in here, and it's based on the invoice processing job, so we're using the same files that are used in the input folder of that. And so we're going to go to our index tab, as always, and we're going to create a field that is of the type list, and it's going to be a company name for these invoices we're going to run through. And we won't have a template. We'll make it the file name. We're going to make it required. And that's all we have to do on the index tab. Then we'll go over to zones and OCR here. And once I have defined a field that is of type list, then these options down here where it says dictionary matching and list fields become available. This would normally be grayed out if I wasn't using the field type of list. So I can go in here, and it's really just looking for a text file. So we can go set, and let's browse to our folder here, which is going to be in the C drive, and it's a file called companies. We'll just open that one. And it's just telling us that it can use relative paths, so we can allow it to do that. And then also one of the things Simple Index does, it allows you directly to edit that file from inside Simple Index. You don't have to go out and browse for it anywhere. So we can click Edit here, and it'll just open up Notepad or whatever your default viewer is for TXT file types. So if I wanted to add something else on here, I could just, it's just one item per line, literally. So I could just put sample company here and make sure I save it and close that out. So there we go. So that's all ready to go. And we'll hit OK here, save the change to our configuration. And we're just going to run this job just real quick, and I'll show you how it works. So it loads in the files, and then over here I have a list. And we can just pick whatever they are. So let's go with sample company on this one, and save index. And so on. We just move through it. Paper scan. Another thing you can do when you're working on these, we can just start typing the first letter. So you can see this is a one-source invoice, and it just takes me right to one source. So I can save that, and that's a blank page. So we'll just mark it for deletion, and save index there. And this one is document giant. Enter, and dictated record storage, paper scan. This is another paper scan. And then finally we have the main Department of Commerce. Enter. So when everything's, we just release the batch. Real simple. And that's all we do. In this case, if we go look at the output folder, we just created a series of PDFs named by that company name that we chose right there. That's really all there is to it. Now, another way you can use these are in conjunction with databases. Now, databases are another video a little later, and we'll get into that in more detail. But rather than having if you've set up a database here that you've connected Simple Index to a database, you can use that in two ways. One, you can use it to save out the indexes, and again, this is all covered in the database video. But another thing you can do is you can use fields in that database as the source for those lists. So if I were doing that, first I would go in here and configure my connection, get it to where Simple Index is talking to that database, and then come back to my Zones and OCR tab. And right here I would put a field. So let's just say, this is field name. And so whatever column in the database that it needs to pull from, it would just load everything in based on that column name right there. And we can take it a step further. If we needed to have our lists come from a different table than whatever we originally set up over here in the database, we can do that as well. You just go to the front here and you put the table name and then a pipe, which is the vertical line. It's a shift backslash if you're not familiar with it. So we'd have table name, pipe, field name, and then it would populate those drop-down lists from the database table and column that we specified here. That's really all there is to it. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I hope it's pretty simple. As always, if you have any questions, contact us on the support line, and thanks for watching.